Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back into Baltimore and we are going to be giving the Atlantic a shot here. Now, I've been running the Baltimore quite a bit lately, trying to improve my cruiser or my heavy cruiser gameplay. You guys know I'm not a fire starter kind of guy, it's just not my style. I like to get up, I like to brawl, I like to do all the fun stuff. So we are going to be leading the charge in the Baltimore and trying to do everything we can. Now, I say leading the charge, but we're not going to charge straight away. You still got to be smart. And in a heavy cruiser, especially the American heavy cruisers, you've got to be extremely careful. Because any battleship that looks at you has the potential to absolutely delete you at any moment. You need to pay attention. Generally speaking, you don't want to go firing your guns right off the bat because of your huge detection range when you fire your guns. Now, if you're not firing your guns, you have a pretty stealthy cruiser. It's not that bad. You can sneak around the map, and as long as you're not a complete putz, you'll be fine. However, if you go firing your guns, you're going to be coming under fire from everybody because everybody knows that you're an easy kill. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. Hey, look, a Bismarck. Spartan, hold your fire. Don't do anything stupid. You're broadside to the entire enemy. Oh my god, why did you do that? Why? Why would you do that? Now watch the amount of firepower that comes my way to prove my point that you really don't want to do this right off the bat. I was completely fine and undetected, and oh my god, that's a lot of rounds. Oh god! Run! Dodge! Change direction, use your heal, do what you gotta do, but you really need to get to that island. You have royally screwed up, and since you've already screwed up, might as well keep firing your guns so that you stay lit up for everybody to continue to pummel. Genius, Spartan. Thanks for showing us how not to play Baltimore. But we did start off the game with 11,000 damage, so you can't really complain too much, because we took more from them than they took from us. That's a decent trade. However, it could have been much worse. It could have been one of those instances where one lucky shell citadels us for half our health. You got to be careful in a heavy cruiser. And so we get through the hailstorm that was the enemy return fire, and the next thing that we need to pay attention to is the battleship to my right. There is a Scharnhorst that is pushing up onto our location. Now, whether or not he was meaning to push up on us is yet to be determined. However, the fact remains that he is pushing up on us, and he does have torpedoes. We do not. He also has 283mm guns that would easily citadel us if we give him too much of an angle. Kind of like we're doing now. However, we're not going to go willy-nilly around the corner and get ourselves obliterated by those 283mm guns. Our team is doing a pretty good job of dealing with him at the moment. So we're just going to wait it out. There's no reason to put ourselves in unnecessary peril. However, the Baltimore out here looks like a much juicier target for me, and he's about to sail around the corner all willy-nilly and leave himself exposed to us. Hello? Can we? Nope. Didn't quite sneak it through. Thought we were going to sneak it through. Clipped the rock closest to us and then missed him high. Unfortunate. However, hello Baltimore. How you doing? I don't have to worry about hitting the rock with you. I say as one of the rounds clips the rock, but we do 5,200 damage to him, and he immediately realizes I have made some egregious errors as he loses half of his hit points. Again, my teammates have a much better shot than I do, but I've got a pretty good shot of my own, and we get him again, taking another 4,000 health, or somewhere close to that. And finally, the Scharnhorst goes down, which means it's time to let loose the dogs of war. We are going to push, and we are going to push hard, and the only reason that this is going to work is that we are not the only ones doing it. I cannot stress enough how many times I have failed because I keep pushing and my team does not. You cannot solo push. I don't care what ship you're in. You just can't do it. You saw it in the Richelieu yesterday, that if you do that, you will be focused or eventually rammed. I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, that is the thing. And we get a shot between the freaking rocks of the island, which was pretty awesome. But then, because we fired and there are people to our right, they can now see us, and the inevitable hailstorm of rounds is about to commence again. And we are giving a broadside to multiple ships. However, most of them are high explosive spamming cruisers, which we just absolutely feast on, as you can see with the Kutuzov there, getting a citadel on him with plunging fire from across the map. And this Baltimore's like, oh my god, I'm gonna... Never mind. But as you can see, they are just spamming high explosive at us, which is fine, because as soon as I clear this island, I am going to unleash all holy hell on these fellas with all of the firepower available to me through the front of my ship, which is 6 203mm armor-piercing rounds that are absolutely fantastic. Now, if I'm going to be honest, this hasn't been my best match ever. But, as you'll see, the fact that I'm pushing forward, you can see the battleships are already doing their thing where they sit back, and that drives me bonkers. But, as I'm pushing forward and their enemy battleships have mostly moved out, there's still one hanging back, but mostly they have moved out. And we actually bounce off the Charles Martel, which should have been my first clue. Now, when I think of a Charles Martel, it's more of, hey, I don't consider it a strong cruiser. It's a fire starter. It likes to run around the edges of the map and just shoot HE at everything. So I don't consider it to be a strong cruiser. But when you're in a cruiser, even one as good as the Baltimore, it actually has pretty decent armor. It doesn't have armor when it comes to battleships, but for everybody else, as cruisers or destroyers, you actually have to respect the armor. However, Belfast got touched. I'm not going to lie. He got touched by my battleships and lost like 30,000 hit points or whatever he has. It was not preferable for him. However, we get the next salvo out and... wait for it. Got him. Down goes the Rotoman. And... now we are on to the Charles Martel. And as we're closing in the distance, now sub 10 kilometers from the man, we are going to be shooting into the frontal armor. And this is just one of those tests. I like to test where, well, that one was a little higher. I like to test where I can and cannot penetrate people when I'm shooting at them. And as you can see, he's not reversing. He is staying still, which means now I'm going to try to shoot at the front of his ship. And watch what happens to these rounds when they hit. Nothing. They just glance off the side of the bow armor, which is a huge thing to know. And the fact that he's spamming high explosive while sitting still with multiple people encroaching on his position is just going to allow me to be even more brave. Now, you can see our battleships have gotten the memo. They are starting to advance with us, and that is the only reason that we are able to get away with this, because I'm not the only one here. I'm not being focused, and oh my god, Charles Martel, you decided that this is the time to give me the broadside of your ship? Really? How do you think this is gonna go? Pow! Down he goes. Yeah, you don't want to give the broadside of that thing. You don't want to give the broadside of anything to a Baltimore, especially at these kind of ranges. However, you're gonna see me potato in the near future. I've done pretty well up to this point, making sure that my team continues to advance, allowing us to flank the enemy and really catch them off guard. Now, right about now... oh, there's the Kutuzov. Hello, Kutuzov. How you doing? I'm going to go ahead and just as soon as I get loaded, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Wait for it. Here it comes. And really, Jean-Bart. Jean-Bart kills the Kutuzov. Kutuzov kills the Jean-Bart. It was kind of meant to be, right? But we are now in the perfect position to ambush these guys. And there are two battleships with 16-inch guns against us. And one person says, take the base. And the other person says, negative. And I'm more like, okay, I'm going to jump into chat. Somebody needs to get into that base. Because the majority of our team are cruisers. And these two American battleships can easily remove us cruisers from the match. So having somebody as the win just in case is very helpful. And so as we're pushing up, you see they have a plane. I do not. So I'm just pushing forward. I need to be able to spot for the rest of my team. And we know that there is 2 battleships down here. There is an Iowa and a Colorado. Both 16-inch guns, both very, very nasty ships to go up against in a cruiser. Well, you know, it's definitely not preferable to be the first one around the corner in a cruiser against 16-inch guns. Generally doesn't end well. However, just as we get down here, we're not the one to spot them. But the Iowa's about to come around the corner. I know the Colorado's last known was straight ahead behind the island in front of me, so I'm going to use that island to screen me from the Colorado and get side shots on this Iowa. And this Iowa's about to find out that, yes, the Baltimore has very good armor piercing, because we're not spamming high explosive. We're spamming armor piercing, and we get some pretty good penetrations. And that wasn't even our best shot. This one will be much better. Wait for it. That flight time, though. Oh my god! We just did like 7,000 damage to him. Almost 8,000. So yeah, you can see that it's very, very good. However, the the Iowa just gets deleted. The Colorado has moved up around the corner a little bit. So I'm trying to put myself in a position to use this island to shoot him. Preferably without being shot back. However, rather than do that, I kind of potato pretty hard here, and I'm going to pay for it. Remember what I said about 16-inch guns incoming around the corners? If this guy knows I'm here, I was spotted for a long time. He knows that I'm here, and he is ready. All 8 guns are looking at me. That's a lot of super heavy armor piercing headed in my direction, and oh my... Yep, that's the one mistake you cannot make when you are in a heavy cruiser. I tried to get in and bow tank. Unfortunately, I still got citadeled. It's just not preferable, and he gets 2 more penetrations right through the front of my ship because he overmatches my bow armor, which is not preferable. However, rather than just sit here and moan and groan about it, I'm pushing. And you're going to see real quick that I screw up here. What I should have been doing, and as we dodge most of them and close the distance even more, is shoot higher. Because a lot of my shots, even though I have the penetration to go through the armor and citadel this guy, a lot of my shots are just hitting the water. And those shots that are hitting the water are absolutely wrecking the damage that I could be doing to this guy. And because of that, I am unfortunately going to perish. We're going to get one more shot. This time I shoot a little higher. I get 4 penetrations, much better damage. He dies immediately after. Of course he would. But, you know, you can only make so many mistakes against 16-inch guns when you're in a cruiser. So, as you can see, we had a pretty good game. Second on the team to a Jean Bart. 2,200 damage, 2 kills, or 2,200 base XP. 2 kills, 101,000 damage, not bad. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.